Hey guys, Rich Nance, self-defense editor of Handguns Magazine. I want to put to bed this ridiculous notion of carrying a defensive pistol without having a round in the chamber. I mean, that's analogous to being a driver of a motor vehicle and thinking you're going to have time to put on your seatbelt before you get in a collision. It's just not going to happen. You may be able to do it under ideal conditions at the range like we're doing today, but I'll tell you, in the real world, if you're faced with a deadly threat, you're going to have a lot of things going on in your body physiologically. That duress dysfunction is going to make it very difficult for you to remember, much less execute that technique prior to having to fire at a deadly threat. So don't start yourself out at a disadvantage. Just make sure you carry with a round in the chamber. We have a shot timer here, and what we'll do is we're at about 7 yards using a Springfield XDS Mod 2. I'll draw and fire at that target with the gun carried the way it's supposed to be, and then I'll make it without a round in the chamber, and I think you'll see a considerable difference here. Okay, 1.37. That was carrying the gun the way it's supposed to be carried with the round in the chamber. Now we'll carry it chamberless and take a look how this comes out. .08. So imagine also adding to that a concealing garment, which you're going to have to struggle through. Also, the fact that your blood is pumping because someone is trying to kill you. And imagine if you, under stress, forget that you've made the unwise decision to carry an empty chamber. When you're faced with something like that, what you're probably going to do, regardless of how you set your gun up, is draw that pistol as fast as you can and press the trigger. The problem is that puts you even further behind the 8-ball. I'll show you what that looks like. Again, I'm carrying with an empty chamber, but I forget that under stress, and here's how that would turn out. Draw, press the trigger, now I got a chamber around and get my hit. So that's taken me all the way up to 270. So I think you can see there's a big difference between carrying this gun the way it's designed to be carried and carrying it in somehow thought of as a more safer method. This problem is exacerbated if you have a 1911 style weapon, which should be carried cocked and locked. One thing I want to keep in mind, I'm not dissing on someone who's a new shooter and not comfortable enough with carrying a round in the chamber, but if that's the case, if you don't feel comfortable that way, you need to get more training. You do not need to go out into the world handicapped by not having a round in the chamber. Your life could depend on your ability to respond to a deadly threat quickly and accurately.